The Charity Board Gamer is made possible by publishers like 25th Century Games. Take a look at the store in the link down below, and stay tuned for a little clip after the show. All right, craziness. Hey, folks, welcome to the Chelsea, Justin, Chris podcast. I don't know if that's going to be the name of it. I don't really
Probably
know.
not.
We're going to probably change it up. We can call it the CJC or the CCJ or the JCC. Yeah, but we have another J in here with us as well. But hey, our whole focus, what is up Beyond Dead 13? What we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be recording our podcast and also doing live streaming at the same time. This is our first episode where we're going to be talking about 5 spooktacular games that we think everybody should have. We're just going to talk basically like what we do in our normal formats, where we go ahead, we talk about what we've been playing, just anything that basically happens. Because if you haven't noticed, I'm ADD as can be, and there's one person that can reel me in, and his name is Justin. Justin,
Right here.
say hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm Justin from Play Games Spread Joy. It's great to start this podcast adventure finally with Chris.
I know, it's wild. And then also, she is my Vega to my Glug. She is wild. Yes. She is crazy. She is our moderator on so many of our live streams. And now she is more involved in our live streams than ever. We are so excited because I'd like to refer to now as another co-host of our show. That is the amazing Chelsea.
Hey. And you guys can find me on Chelka's Corner. So
Chelka's Corner with a bark.
Yeah.
With a bark. There's
your
always
dog was
dogs
so
involved.
excited about talking about Chelka's Corner.
He joined in.
Oh my goodness. So yeah.
Perfect timing.
So we're going to be talking a little bit about what we've been playing. We're going to be talking just kind of what we've been doing, kind of a recap of how our week's been, kind of a recap of maybe previous weeks of gaming that we've had. I know we played the Big Pig game last Thursday and we won, which that was a great feeling. But we're also going to try to have a guest on, kind of like what I've done for the interviews, where we invite somebody, either a publisher, designer, to talk about something that's going on with their games, or maybe they want to talk about a charity or anything of that nature. And tonight we have Jared from Lonely Hero Games.
Hello, that's me.
That was great.
I
wanted to hype you up like woo woo woo.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no crowd. The crowd would have been screaming if there were a crowd. So usually wait for that.
It's so wild and so loud right now.
Yeah,
like we're in front of a live studio audience. That's them breathing, though. I mean, that's what it is.
Okay, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
First time chat. Jared Pitchman. That is so true. I love it. Yeah. So let's get right into it. Let's just kind of go and just kind of have fun with this. What have been the games that you've all been playing lately? Chelsea, we'll start with you.
So I recently played Steam Up. So I know you just posted a video about that. We've been playing that. We played that, and we played a prototype, and it just hit Kickstarter. And I've also played Hamsters versus Hippos, who's also on Kickstarter. So those are some fun games that I've been playing.
Now, was that the game that you played last night with Justin, or
no? We actually played Call to Adventure last night.
Ooh. So tell me about your thoughts on that. That's Brother Wise Games.
So Justin did not win, even though he had a huge stack of anti-hero cards, and he just kept dealing them left and right to everybody and like screwing everybody's plans, but he did not win. So
yeah, I was the only one that went anti-hero.
Everybody else went hero.
Yeah, it didn't pay off, but it was still a lot of fun. We had fun with it, and we made sure at the end to kind of go through the story we had created with our characters, because I know that's a lot of the point of the game is to create a story, be it a hero, anti-hero, in general, like the progress you made throughout it. So it was fun kind of reading that off and how they all came together.
And kind of connecting the stories of, the cards that you picked that fit your character. So that was also very fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and they've got a new game, I think, coming out called Epic Origins, which I'm curious how that's going to go. But like, I played it against Beth, and I'll leave it at that. So I enjoyed the game. I just don't like saying when I lose games because it's.
I think Brother Ours also just announced, was it an expansion for Call to Adventure, like going back to its roots, and it's
Yeah, I
almost like
think they
D&D
did.
based.
Yeah, I think that's the epic event, the epic origins thing, isn't it?
Okay, maybe I'd have to look up the name of it. I just saw a post either today or yesterday about it.
Didn't they send an email too about it?
I don't know.
It's possible too.
It's wild. Like we get, I mean,
There's so much information coming in from different directions that it's hard to keep up.
I know that one thing that's going to be at our house, hopefully before our charity live stream, which I'm excited about because we've all played it. Actually, I don't think did we? No, I know Daniel Burrell played it with us.
Which one?
What's it called? Gosh darn it!
Oh come on, you guys start talking about not
the Dragon Prince, the Dragon Prince battle.
Yes.
So yeah,
is that the one that I think the two of us played and possibly Daniel
we were a team, weren't we? We were a team, Justin.
Possibly.
And we won. Oh, once again, folks, we're really good at cooperative, but when we're competitive, we're competitive. But yeah, we're very well, I'm more chaotic.
Justin absolutely.
Justin is definitely more straight laced.
I'm the controlled chaos.
Yeah.
You know how to rein it in.
Yeah, you definitely do that well.
But yeah, talking about what we've been playing, let's not leave out our guests. Jared, what have you been playing?
Sadly, I haven't been playing a lot lately just because I've been so ridiculously busy trying to get our Kickstarter launched. And I also, I work for a resort in my real job. And on the weekends, we have a haunted house and I have to work at that haunted house every Friday and Saturday. But if I'm back up, maybe a month or so, me and my friends, we were playing a lot of Decrypto and Dragoon, and recently played Moonrakers, which is a whole lot of fun. That's a great one. But yeah, haven't been getting much to the table lately just because I've been so busy.
Yeah. Now Moonrakers, that's Ivy Studios, and I think that's the one that that we were talking about when we were at Origins, wasn't it?
Yeah. We talked to the developers for a little bit, and they were super cool, very awesome, and it's good to meet them. And they made a great game, so it's a lot of fun.
Well, I can't wait for Mythic Mischief. That's their next one that funded. I don't know if they did Game Found or Kickstarter. There's too many crowdfunding things.
Yeah.
No, it's been wild. So you haven't been playing anything lately, but however, you've had this already successful Kickstarter within the first 24 hours. Not even 24 hours, less than that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Hungry for Humans, we launched it on Tuesday, and there's been a decent amount of competition and crowdfunding over the last little bit, but we were able to swing it and get it funded in about 12, 13 hours. I think what really helped us was having a really good local community push. Our game ties in with West Virginia, our home state, and we used about 18 different local restaurants to provide dishes in the game that the monsters will actually eat. And those restaurants all cross-promoted the game on their social media. We had some news coverage and things like that. And just kind of briefly going through our backers, a huge portion of them are from the state. So that really put us over the top there.
Yeah, I think it was pretty awesome when I saw in the West Virginia Gazette, there was like some just small little speech article.
Yeah, it was a small little full page layout.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was great. That was really awesome of them.
Yeah, now you all of course have made one of my favorite games, which we've always talked about, but Bank Heist, which Justin and Chelsea both have played. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we all had the chance. We had our meetup, and both of our meetups, and you all were able to teach the game to some of the people that you actually reached out to. So like Carly and was it Casey and and then I saw Meg, Professor Meg was doing some stuff recently. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
they were super helpful. I have to definitely shout them out because without them, I don't know if we would have had the boost right at the beginning that we really needed. Everyone knows just how important it is to fund. You can make a 30-day campaign, but if you don't fund in that first 24, 48 hours, they just kind of say you're dead in the water. So you want to really do everything you can to get started. And just a huge thank you to everyone that helped cross promote and promote the game and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Now, now, did everybody say what they played? Because you know me, my ADD.
Well, we kind of talked about it to an extent. Like we've talked about before on Wednesday nights, I have the game night with Chelsea. So we review some games and then play some other stuff we just want to learn about. But the other game I've been primarily playing was Titania Ascending from XYZ Games. That's coming up to Kickstarter soon as well. The new co-op flipping right. That's learning the solo mode is even harder than the co-op mode. So I do want to warn everyone on that. It's not as easy as it looks.
How is it? Because I know like we're going to be doing our how to play for the cooperative mode.
Okay.
And we're doing that, and we're doing a playthrough.
Okay.
But
I recommend.
how's it with the shading and everything? Like, because how much harder does it get with the fate cards?
Oh, so the fate cards you only use in the co-op mode.
Okay.
So in the solo / competitive mode, you take those out, but you're only filling in your own board. You don't get the benefit from anyone else's mat, like when they fill in rows and columns, the bonuses from that. So you really have to focus on everything you do on your own. So it's a lot tighter grouping. The decisions are harder to make. So overall, the co-op does make it easier to play, even though it's not the very simplified flipping rights and rolling rights that we've seen in the past. It is I don't want to say more difficult. It has a bit more bite to it, you might say.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed it. Now, Chelsea, have you played it yet? I know you were given a copy to.
Yeah, so
do
I
some
played it
content.
at Origins, and we're gonna play it this weekend.
Nice.
Unfortunately, work has been hectic this week, so it's been
What's
hard.
work? What's
I know,
work?
right?
Mean, you're not a professional like content creator.
No,
making
I
making
gotta pay
millions
for
of
the other
dollars.
games.
Yeah.
Pay for the other games
No,
I buy.
I mean, yeah, and just so everybody knows, we all have day jobs. All four of us have day jobs, so we are constantly busy. So when we're doing like this content stuff, it's been for us just a fun kind of road, which has been a blast. So I know we didn't talk about what I played with the family recently, but of course we did Pictomania on Sunday. Mountain Goats. I won a game against Beth on
Wait.
Woohoo!
Don't gloss over that. It's been a while since you've won against her, it sounds like.
Well, I also, so I won against Beth in that, and then Beth and I played as a team on Kabuto Sumo against our friends, and they came over. Justin, you remember we've got was it Michael who's coming? He played with us, and he just kind of he played, and we had a good time. So he and I were on it. Go ahead.
No, continue. You're good.
Yeah, and then of course the boys came up to me. Seriously, I think for a majority of last week, they were breaking out Catapult Feud from Yellow Games, and they were just nonstop playing it every day. Like they're playing on the floor, they're playing on the table, and then they're like, "Daddy, can we play against you?" And I'm like, "Sure." Well, I beat Daniel in the game, which was great because he was like very overconfident. And then, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's like I beat my 13-year-old in a game. I know it's so horrible.
Well, they do have to learn at an early age that losing is part of gaming.
It is.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I think the big thing though too is that learning with grace, losing with grace, understanding that you're going to lose a game and not be a complete butthole about it. Because we go to conventions, we see those people that are just kind of like, if they don't win the game, they're the ones that are going to flip the table and stuff. I mean, I still don't understand why people have anger when it comes to
it's more because they play purely for the win as opposed to playing because of the people at the table.
Yeah. And I mean, that brings up a good point. Like somebody's coming up, I think they're coming out with a thing called the World Series of Board Games. And I mean, it
Mhm.
sounds cool. I think it sounds fun. I don't think that the person that spam friend requested me about it was my favorite person. But I mean, it does sound like a really cool thing. The brothers Murph are behind it.
Mhm.
The Ruel's behind it. Like there's a bunch of people that are content creators that are like promoting it. But
Yeah.
I'd like to see how this works out. I think it's what $25,000 to the winner.
Hmm.
So
Haven't seen a huge amount about it, so I don't know all the details. But in a sense, tournaments and competition stuff is part of what pushes a lot of hobbies forward, be it gaming and sports and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's if you just purely do it for the people, like, yeah, you can have fun, but then you can shift hobbies with just the people. So to push the hobby forward, there's going to be some kind of competition because it helps us
Yeah.
grow.
what's your thoughts on it, Jared?
Um, with the World Series
Yeah,
or
with
just
the World Series. Tell
yeah.
me, what was your thoughts when the Cleveland Indians lost to the Cubs? Games, what was that? Game 9? Game 9 after 12 extra innings. Yeah.
Yeah, have no thoughts on that. But the World Series of board gaming, I'm not super familiar with it myself, so I'll have to look more into that.
It's supposedly coming out next year. So
Okay.
and of course it's gonna be in Vegas because where else are
Why
you gonna have
not?
I mean, the World Series
Yeah.
of poker, I understand. Like I understand it to an extent, but I'm like trying to think to myself, what games would you put on the World Series of board gaming? Like would you put, I mean, Catan, you Catan, but then you have to think
Mhm.
about, okay, what
I've
about the
never played
risk of the
Catan.
dice?
One of these days we'll teach you, Chelsea.
Never played Catan.
Oh my
Unless you
God.
don't want to learn it. We won't
I
force
don't
you to
really
play it, but
care.
if you want to learn it,
There's so many other games.
very true.
I don't know how I feel about it though, because like Chuck plays a lot of like competitive games
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
tournaments and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm always willing to try any sort of board game or any event like that, but I've never enjoyed them. I always come out and I'm like, this isn't fun. Like it gets so competitive that for me it takes the fun out of it because it gets like too strategic and it's just like, well, how can I stop that person from winning and win myself? And that's not necessarily why I play board games. I play to just have fun and I lose all the time. So like I definitely don't play to win. I play to hang out, to
Mhm.
make memories with friends and just do something different that doesn't necessarily like in front of the TV, or I don't play video games or anything like that. So it's just, I don't know how I feel about it being turned into a competition. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because I mean, the thing that got me into board games was the connection with the people.
Mhm.
I think like I've been to my local game store. And there's a new one that's over there that I need to really try out. I think when you all come down or come over or whatever it is called, we're gonna go to
We
this one
visit.
place. Yeah, when you come visit, that sounds good. Maybe we could try to stop there before we do filming and stuff. But I felt like when I went to this place, they had a Magic the Gathering tournament. They had a unwrapping, and then everybody kind of like was playing against each other. And there's this one person which was just so loud and hateful as he's playing, and I think he got asked to leave. And I was like, I don't ever want to play that if that's what that produces sometimes. And then I've played the game, and I think Magic is fun. I think it's fun. I don't think I would enjoy an experience like that where it was that kind of level of competitive. Like I think something else that I've noticed. The World Board Gaming Championships has been around since 1999. They skipped 2020 and 2021. Is that related? Wow.
It might be. Yeah.
Might be.
Like I've heard
Maybe.
that name before, but never saw the
Yeah.
details on it. So it could be the same thing that they're just bringing back and kind of trying to rehype it with coverage.
I have to wonder though. I have to think to myself, okay, how much of the games, like if they're bringing different games in, how are they mitigating risk? How are they putting games in that mitigate risk? Because when you throw dice in,
Mhm.
there's always a chance of risk
yeah.
unless there's ways to mitigate that risk. So I'm
Mhm.
curious how much strategy is going to go into it. Will there be Euro games? Will there be lightweight games? Will there be one people call it Ameritrash games? I'm curious
Yeah.
about that. But for me, I think I've enjoyed more of the connections. I mean, the people that
Mhm.
are here right now that are here. I mean, Justin and Chelsea. It wasn't from us having these crazy competitive games with each other.
No.
That's not what connected us. It was us basically saying, or I think it was with Justin and me. It was Justin was following, and we went to Origins 2019. And
I think originally connected, yeah, it was on
Yeah.
Instagram. I think you were actually asking for game donations or something because you were
Yeah.
already raising funds and doing other
Mhm.
stuff.
for Extra Life
And
that year. Yeah.
yeah, and I think I had spare games. I was like, yeah, I'll send them that way. And then we met at Origins, and I think it was just a small game get together that you set up there for people you knew from online. You're already doing it in 2019, just on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
And I think I joined up, and I think I taught you Smile.
Yeah, you taught me Smile. I actually have the copy you gave me right within reach. I've got it right here on the shelf, so that way I always remember. I've got a quackalope duck over here, like a giant one that Jesse brought, and then I've got
Mhm.
Smile right in my Z-Man collection area. Like I've got Pandemic Legacy Season 0, Pandemic Hot Zones North America, Meowie, Smile, and Mesozoic. I've got them all kind of like right there in the top corner. And I try to make sure that no matter what shelf, I have something unique on it. Like, and then right for people that can't see it very well, right over here is a bookend that Justin sent to me with some stickers and some coasters. And it was really cool. And he wrote on the back of it, and I keep it with my Extra Life medal. And it says, Chris, as usual, you are a pleasure to hang out with. This is way before we got to know each other more. Your joyful spirit and bright smile were a welcome sight in a sea of strangers at PAX U. Merry Christmas, Jaybird. So that was very special to me. So to be able to do that, to be able to have that kind of fun and good time, and I think for me, that is what really is the driving force of the board games. The 100 best attended games from previous convention this century are scheduled, with additional games added by the vote. I did like that somebody's comment was like, no holds bar potion explosion. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. I mean, who knows? Maybe we could have like a bunch of social deduction games and throw in some bank heist in there for part of it. There you go, Jared. You need to go get in the BPA now, whatever the
Yeah.
BPA is.
Well, you're just talking about competition in board games and like why we play and that sort of thing. I come from a friend group that is competitive about everything. If you're eating breakfast, you'll look up and they're trying to eat more than you or eat faster than you. It's that sort of thing. So I'm used to being heavily competitive in games, and but that isn't necessarily what I love about it. I mean, I do like to be competitive. Before I really got into a lot of tabletop games, I was playing a ton of Pokemon actually with our friends, and that was getting to a point where I mean, I personally ripped up somebody's card one time, but we won't go into that. It was kind of an expensive one too, so I had to replace it. But anyway, but yeah, I think just, being around people like you all, and being able to just sit down with strangers and play at conventions and those sorts of things, and it not have to be super serious and not have to be a just crazy competitive thing, is sort of a breath of fresh air for me, because of I love my friends and I love that competition, but I really love this side of it as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the four of us with what about, and then we had maybe 3 more people. Is that right? Did we have 7 people at the table when we went out to eat?
That was
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
3 and 6. Yeah, 7.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite things, that we could all just sit down and just kind of relax, eat dinner. We went to a random place in at Origins that like I wanted to sit down and have a meal before our meetup, and so I was like, all right, I need a reservation for 7 people. And we went and we had a blast, and then we had our meetup, and it was so good.
Went from
And
7 people to
Like
way
40.
way
More.
more than
Way-
no way
yeah.
more than 50. Like we had 40 people confirmed to show up.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, I think I went over 60 people came to that meetup.
Yeah.
That was wild. That was
We did
wild.
play
And
a good game of Dream Crush.
I didn't get to play that, and I want to play that, but that's what Mondo makes it. I need to talk to
I have
Mondo.
it.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yeah, it
bring
was.
that-
I brought my copy with me, and
okay.
it was so much fun. It was so like silly, but everybody picking. It was just so much fun
Okay.
because
We
you're
might-
picking like strangers what they would want like on a date,
Okay.
and you got to answer the question, and then they would give you like share a detail based on it's like three people that you would date,
Mhm.
and then it would ask it gives you like a situation and then a detail about them, so you gotta kind of pick like if you would go through this milestone in your relationship with this person. And it was really funny because they all kind of lined up. I mean, we shuffled them, but they all kind of lined up like almost like meant to be, and they all kind of fit each other with
Mhm.
like the prior characteristic. So it was really fun, and then all the like the names and like the images are very like fluid and like non-binary. Like it's not. It makes it. I feel like it makes everybody feel comfortable with it, and there was something for everybody. And then, I mean, there's a bunch of like people, and like there's a good stack, so there's a little bit for everybody. So I really did like that too.
That's pretty
Plus
cool.
Elijah Wood.
Plus Elisha Wood, who
Yeah.
looks like a creeper who might like kill you and like stuff you in the fridge in the basement. Like it, yeah,
But he
Well-
also carries the one ring. I mean, so I
yeah.
mean, how can you not date Elijah Wood? I
Yeah,
mean,
so I looked it up afterwards, and he like play tested the game,
mhm.
and he's like friends with the designer or something like that. So he like was involved early on, and that's why he's in the game.
Craziness. Yeah, I think that's really neat that that he was in there. I think that's pretty cool. That is really cool. Maybe one day we'll be in a game. Who knows? That'd be wild.
I don't know.
Well,
It's okay.
well, we do know quite a few designers now, with working in the booths and everything. I think at some point we can make that happen.
That'd be kind of cool. That'd be
We can
neat.
have Shadow in the game,
Now,
or
that would be
Ebu,
even better.
or
Yeah.
Elf, or
Mhm.
Dexter. I have options.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, for one, we need to get your dogs into the game that Terradice Games is making, that dog walking game.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Oh,
sure
that's
we could
right.
get pictures of your dogs into that game.
Are Jonathan and Mackenzie coming to PAX U?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay, we
I
need to
thought they-
make-
Well, because they're up in New York, so I think they should be able to make it to PAX U, is what they were saying.
Okay,
Yeah, the train ride is not bad at all from
Yeah,
New York.
because I think the one thing that I'm excited about is we're going to be doing another meetup,
Whew.
and this meetup is going to be helped and hosted alongside Chex Game Edition, which is what we're working on right now. Tony's trying to get a day and time for us, and then on top of that, we're planning dinner. We're planning dinner. And I didn't think we'd have this many people confirmed for dinner, but we're looking at least 20 people at a restaurant. Where it's if anybody's ever been to PAX U, there's a place called the Butcher Bar, and I've heard about this place the last time in 2019. I think James Hudson took the Skybound team out. I think about 12 to 14 people ate this one thing called the Trough, and it's this ridiculously deli paper all the way across the table, covered with meats and steaks and not bison. What is it called? It's not a pig. It's
Boar?
like yeah, boar.
The thing.
Ribs. Yeah, boar ribs. Korean barbecue. You've got hand cut French fries everywhere, all across it.
Sausage,
Okay,
Wild
let's slow
boar
down. I'm
ribs,
getting hungry. I'm gonna start drooling.
Royale with cheese,
Yeah,
house smoked bacon, Korean short ribs, fries, and then grilled pita on top of game hen.
and it looks like they've got like yeah, they've also got like little lemons and stuff to add some citrus and flavor. And the four of us are going to be there out of the 20 people. So we're looking at probably two of these troughs between 20 people, which a trough, just so people know, we're talking about a $300 giant thing, and we're going to split it between everybody. So it's going to cost more along the lines of maybe $30 per person. So that's kind of the idea, is because no way could I afford. I can't be as like, hey, honey, you know our mortgage payment? Yeah, we're gonna pay half that, and
It's gonna be
on this. It's gonna be amazing. You're
It's
not
gonna be
gonna be
meats.
there. We're gonna put it towards meats and nothing but
Oof.
meats.
and some fries.
Yeah, you know, is that okay? Something tells me I'd be sleeping in the car for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to eat with us or play games with
Yeah.
us at PAX U, follow along on our social medias to see when all this stuff is happening. But I think it's time to talk about the games tonight. We've got off topic a bit. We don't
That's
want to go
true.
too late.
That's true. We are going to be talking about our top 5 spooktacular games. There, that sounded somewhat scary.
Well, for one, did we tell Jared that we were talking about
no,
this?
we
So
totally
if he
did
wanted to
not.
make a list.
I totally did not give him a list at all. I think we're going to do that with every guest. We're going to be like a top
No, I
5
got it.
something, and then
They
they're
won't
gonna
know
have
what
to
we're
think
talking
off the
about.
fly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're going to make them think on the fly.
I'm just
So-
gonna pick 5 off that shelf behind you.
Oh, right off the shelf
Just
behind
look.
me.
That's it.
That one?
I can see that. I can see that.
I see Monopoly. It's very scary sometimes when we
Yeah.
play with house
Oh.
rules.
Oh yeah. Oof. Okay,
House
so
ruling.
we all did a top 5 list, right?
Yeah, we did.
So why don't we start, I guess technically the bottom of the list at number 5s, and we'll work our way to the number 1s we all picked.
Yeah,
Well,
just
mine
so
are not
everybody
in
knows-
order.
Yeah, mine are not in any particular order, folks.
Well,
Either. So,
okay, sorry. You type them with numbers in our Facebook chat. How can you say they're not ordered?
Because it's just as I was thinking about it and like looking it up, it no order on like which one I like more than the
Oh no,
others.
totally not.
It
Totally not.
was like, oh, this was a Halloween. I gotta type it now.
Well, I'm sure if I asked you today and tomorrow and yesterday, they'd be in a different order anyway,
Oh,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
It's wild.
Okay.
Yeah. All right,
So,
so let's.
we just
let's
need
go
to
ahead.
pick. Well, I know there's one on all of our lists. Do we want to start with that one?
Nah. Well, I don't even know which one that is. Hold on, I'm looking. Oh, we all
Oh, come
have
on.
that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
start
let's start with
there.
that one. Okay. So that would be Mysterium. So we'll say number 5. Number 5. Air quoting
Number
this whole time.
5.
Number 5. All right, Mysterium. So go ahead and tell us why you like Mysterium, Justin.
Well, my favorite part about Mysterium is actually playing as the ghost. So the challenge of communicating with all the other players, because it's a co-op style game, but the ghost, you're handing everyone else the cards that are filled with, I don't even know how to describe the art. It's very abstract in the way all the cards are drawn, and you're trying to get the other players to kind of decipher clues off those. But as the ghost, you have to also kind of keep track of how they decipher and adjust how you give them clues. So the challenge of that, of not only just giving them clues, but adjusting on the fly, is a very interesting challenge and way to play.
Yeah, I mean, for me playing the game, I played it last year I think last year or the year, last year, I think, for the first time.
Mhm.
And from my experience, it was right before, of course, pandemic. So it was at the game store. And we're playing the game, and I just remember having a blast.
Mhm.
And what was interesting is that I think of it as like a reverse version of Clue. Like if people like Clue, this
Mhm.
is one that I think would really fit well I think Lilybud's the ones that make the game, the publisher, and they did a really good job with it. And like Justin said, the abstract images make you think a little bit more of how is that person going to interpret what I put in front of them? Are they going to figure it out? Like if I put a thing about pin with a pin cushion, are they going to see the sharp pointy pin cushion, or are they going to look at the picture frame that's on the wall in the background, or is it something about the color? You don't know. And so all those things kind of play a factor into whether or not it's going to be the option that the person's trying to do, because we're all trying to figure out who was the murderer of the person that was murdered. Correct?
Yeah. So
you looked at me very like
the crux of the game starts with each player that is not the ghost has basically a line of a who, a what, and a where type scenario that they're trying to solve. But by the end of the game, it's one of those sets that ends up being the truth that everyone's trying to solve by the end of it. So you have to solve your own line and then kind of collectively try to figure out the correct one at the end.
Chelsea, what's your thoughts on Mysterium?
I don't know that I like being the ghost, but I like when they get the clues. I'm like, okay, so I know how this person thinks. So I try it exactly what you guys said, but just on the reverse. I'm like, okay, so I know this person pays a lot of attention to detail. So let me try to look at the whole picture, because like when I give clues, I don't necessarily like pay attention to everything, and then I tend to confuse people. So that's why I'm not great at it. Like same reason I'm not great at code names, because I don't look at the whole board or I don't process everything.
Yeah, I remember.
And I'm like, oh, I gotta give a clue. So, but I do like the art. I really like the art. It's just so different and like eclectic. Like everything goes together. So you have to piece all these just images, and it's just. And just like the conversations going, with the other players, you're like, okay, well, what do you think? And what do you? So it's co-op where it doesn't give a lot of like quarterbacking necessarily, because everybody's trying to figure out the clues. And instead of saying, well, you need to play that.
Yep.
And then everybody gets to make their own guesses, whether you agree with everybody else or not.
Yeah.
So I co-op games, I have a problem with like the quarterbacking a lot. So this is one of those that doesn't necessarily happen. And then you can play up to 7 people. So
exactly.
And it's not necessarily a party game. It still has some chunk to it. So that's some of the reasons we really enjoy it.
Nice.
So Jared, have you played that before?
Yeah, that's one that I've played quite a bit. It would be on my list for sure. And I think the couple things that I like about it, just you've touched on it already in terms of the being on the same wavelength as people. I like being the ghost because of that. I feel like I know my friends pretty well, and it's like I'm sort of, communicating with one person in one way and then someone else at the table in a completely different way. And I'm just handing them both cards, but I know the way they think and I know the way the other person thinks. And I love that sort of thing. That's why I enjoy games like Wavelength itself, which we had a huge game of at Origins that was like ridiculously out of hand. It was like 50 people. But yeah. But the other thing I like about it too, I think Mysterium was the first game that I've played that the art really mattered in terms of like, oh, it's not just a pretty thing to look at. That's great art. It's the art actually has an impact on the game, because you're studying the artwork and you're using things within it in order to point people in different directions. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So that was everybody's number 5. See, Jared had a number 5. He was ready.
Yes.
All right, Jared, give us your number 4. Number 4. Number 4.
Let's see here. Number 4, maybe Betrayal at House on the Hill. I like that one a lot. It was an earlier game that I'd played when I started getting into tabletop games, and so it kind of like has a little bit of like weight to it, and for me personally. And then it's just nice to kind of have that creepy haunted house feel, and then just have those different scenarios unfold. I think that's really cool that, each game can be a little bit different because of that brand new scenario that you fall into at the end of the game, or on the second half of the game, I should say.
Yeah, and Justin, you had that on your list
Yeah,
too.
that was on my list. Like I know some people don't like the original as much, primarily because of the balance issues. But if you play it in the same way as you would play Betrayal at Baldur's Gate with the updated rules for the haunt triggering, it plays very well. And especially because I think the base game had like 50 scenarios or something like that. And then if you get the expansion of Widow's Walk, that adds like 25 more. So just the variability of what could happen, and like you said, the haunted house feel of it that fits so well for the Halloween time of year. I pretty much couldn't not add it to my list because again, it was like one of the earlier games I also learned as well. So just a nostalgia, the haunted house aspect, and all the variability of scenarios just kind of all combined. It was hard not to like it from myself.
All right, Chelsea, what's your number 4?
So I have never played Betrayal at Haunted House Hill
Mhm.
or whatever, the full name. But I played Betrayal Legacy,
Okay.
and that was on my list. And we really enjoyed it. It was one of the, we did like game nights, and we're like, okay, we're not playing anything else. We're playing this. And some of the, the chapters or whatever played sort of quickly, and some took longer. But we really enjoyed it to the point where we want to play again and potentially trigger the haunts differently, take different actions, and see how it played, because we just played with 3 players.
Mhm.
But it was so much fun. And then like if we had to skip a game night, we would be like, okay, well, what about the weekend? Can we catch up? Like we did not waste time. And then the back of the character cards, like it has the years and those like the chapters. And then you write what happened to your character, because it's like the family crest.
Mm.
So you play as the family, and I mean you could change, but we kept the same ones, and we just went through, and it was at the end, it was so much fun to flip it over and be like, what happened to all the people you played, and did they survive? Like some died of old age, some died during the
Mhm.
chapter, and the ages and stuff. And so that was also very fun to just like recollect everything that happened.
So, Chris, I don't think I saw that on your list.
No, I
So
don't have
what would
anything
you
Betrayal
what would you
on there.
choose in place of Betrayal?
Okay, so I had Tower of Madness. Now this is from Smirk and Dagger Games. When I think of going insane, it was my first Cthulhu-based game. I don't really understand H.P. Lovecraft. I've never really read any of this stuff. I never really got into it, just because it wasn't anything that I was into. But I did play Tower of Madness. I was teaching it for Envoy back, and for people that want to get into teaching games for publishers and going to conventions, check out Envoy. But I had the chance to work with Envoy and teach that game. And the way it is, it's like there's the Cthulhu tentacles are coming out of this tower, and in the top are these marbles, and you pull it's like Kerplunk. You pull the tentacle out, the marbles drop, and if certain marbles drop, they might help you out with points, or you will go insane. And if the last green marble drops, Cthulhu has risen, and if you're insane, you are the last one to be eaten, so therefore you win the game. So it's a very interesting, well done game. Or maybe it's not the green one. I think it's the red one's Insanity. Red ones are Insanity. Blues are good, whites are good, but reds are Insanity, and greens are the Coming of Cthulhu. There's like 3 marbles that are green. Once the 3rd marble drops, everything's over. So
it sounds very dexterity based and something
Mhm.
that's kind of great for families as well.
yeah, and it plays 5. That's a big one. That's a big deal. It's like if I can play like if a 5-player game, then
Mhm.
I am more likely to get it to the table. If you give me a 4-player game, then one of our kids has to sit out. It's a little bit more darker context because you're talking about HP Lovecraft. So for like younger audiences, of course, I would say keep them out of it until you're at that point where you can really talk about it and explain what HP Lovecraft was, or at least maybe talk a little bit about Cthulhu and maybe not darker tones like Lovecraft truly is. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to that. So, but yeah. Now let's get on to number 3.
Well, let's just keep going with you, Chris.
Okay, well then, gosh, for me, number 3 automatically, and I picked this one. I'm surprised I picked this one, but I think this one kind of fit more.
Wait, you're surprised that you picked it?
Well, because I'm thinking about it now, because I'm looking at another one that's on this shelf. I picked Cobble and Fog. Now, I'm a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan too. I mean, that is on my 12 days of giveaways, 12, like our holiday thing that we got coming up. That is one of my favorites that I recommend for the holidays. But Cobble
I've never
and
played
Fog.
We'll set up a 4-player
I've never played on
game
Match.
while we're there.
What the crap?
Or I'll bring it over one night, Chelsea. I have Cobble and Fog as well. Definitely agree with that choice, Chris. Very, very solid game.
Yeah,
The characters, very classic.
For anybody that's never had a chance to play Star Wars Epic Duels was a game back in the 90s, right after I think it was the Phantom Menace came out and stuff. And so it was a fun game. And it was a nice skirmish game where you could play with about up to 4 players. And you could have, Boba Fett fighting off Jango Fett. It's like father versus son. I mean, nobody's ever heard of that with Vader or Luke or anything. But you could play as these different characters from the series. So you could play it from the original trilogy and the prequels, which I have my feelings on that. But you could play it, and it was a lot of fun. And then they discontinued it. Of course, with Star Wars license. Star Wars, I think, was owned by Disney, so it kind of got changed up. But Restoration came out with this, and they brought back the same mechanics of the Epic Duels game. They took away the dice, which mitigated the risk with cards. And so your cards are playing your defense, they're playing your attack, they're playing your special abilities. It's so well done. I own every single Unmatched. I will own Legends 2 when it comes out. I will own the Marvel versions when they come out. If there is one series of games other than, of course, Bank Heist, because I love it, and Jared's on here, so I gotta say it. No, I'm just kidding. But
you would say it anyway.
I would say it anyway.
Yeah.
I think that if most of these games were gone tomorrow, I would keep only so many, and one series I would keep would be Unmatched, because we've played it with our kids. We've had a blast with it. Justin and I played on stream. I still hate you for that one move. But it's so good. It's such a good game. It's well put together. And I think companies like Restoration Games make it fun. They take something old, they give it a new face, they fix some of the mechanics that maybe were broken. And they make it enjoyable. I mean, they just got done with Dark Tower, and that tower looks freaking sweet. I got to see it at Origins, and I got to see it at Gen Con, and I'm just like watching it as it lights up. I think I've got some video of it. All I can say is I was beyond ecstatic of that, and I think that's one game that we've got to find a way to get it to our table, because Restoration does it right. They just do. They bring back older games and give them a great refresh. And I mean, look at Downforce. Downforce was a game that came out I don't even remember when, and now it's in Target stores and it's selling like crazy in Target. So it's a racing.
Well, Chris, I know you love talking about all the games.
I know we got.
I'm going to reel us back in a little bit. I'm going to segue
off
while we have Cobble and Fog had the Invisible Man. I'm going to bring up my game that also has the Invisible Man with Horrified. I'm kind of doing Horrified and Horrified American Monsters together because they play the same, but just the characters in them are slightly different. Just the nostalgia of the types of characters in it, how well you have to work together because it is a co-op game. I've also enjoyed the solo mode, facing all the different monsters in various combinations. The artwork in both is different, but great in their own ways. I enjoyed it. I think Chelsea, did you have it on your list as well? I believe.
I did, yes, I did, and I've only owned the original one, but I've played once the American Monsters, and every time we've played, it's like our Waterloo. Like we screw up something, whether it's rules. Like every time we play, it's just we're like, we got this. This time we cleared up the what we screwed up the first time. Nope, we do something else wrong. So
I think both times we started and learned both of the two games, we were like, yeah, we're experienced gamers. We don't have to
We
do the
got
beginner
this.
game. No,
no,
like immediately that was a mistake. Just because each monster has a slightly different mechanic and how you have to defeat it and go about defeating it. And especially the more players you add to the game, it actually becomes more difficult because you have more time between your turn where monsters can actually get to you and end up attacking you. So the balance that they've created with it and the tension that it draws out is right on theme, and really being
yeah.
horrified on how close you are to losing the game constantly, it feels like.
Jared,
And it
what's
was-
your? Oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it was just one that even though we lost, mostly because it was our fault, we like immediately wanted to be like, okay, we gotta
yeah.
we gotta play again. We gotta play again.
The
point that-
original we played 3 times in a row, even though we kept messing up. We were like, we gotta try it. We gotta try
We
it.
gotta
No,
try it.
we're
We
gonna
gotta
beat
try
it.
this. We're gonna beat it. And it was like so close. And even when we played American Monsters at Origins,
Mhm.
it was a turn. We should have died, but we found a way to try to prolong this to like save ourselves
Mhm.
for at least 30 minutes. And it was just like, okay, what can we do? Okay, so we got to do this. And it was such like team planning towards the end that made the whole the whole game. It was just such a, even though we lost, it was still such a fun experience.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Jared, what about you for number 3?
Well, since I wasn't prepared for this list,
What?
I have a few.
What do you
but
mean? I just
I-
messaged you the other day. Hey, do you want to
Yeah,
come on? And
yeah.
not told you about anything that
Yeah.
we were going to cover.
I'm going to
So-
use my number 3 for a shameless plug for a nice little game that you can get on Kickstarter right now that has some monsters in it, including the Mothman, which I believe is in Horrified American
It
Monsters.
is good
Yeah.
segue.
Yeah. So,
this.
but also involves the Flatwoods monster, Grafton monster, Sheep Squatch, and then several made up monsters of our own. It's called Hungry for Humans. And in the game, I like it a lot because you're feeding these monsters that want to eat humans the best human food you can find. And as they eat this human food, they become more powerful. But if they become too powerful, they explode, and then it leaves you vulnerable, and the other monsters will eat you. But if you feed them the wrong things, then the monsters become a little bit hangry and they eat you themselves. And so your own monster will eat you if you don't give them the right foods. It's a lot of fun. It's a little bit of take that, a little bit of push your luck and that sort of thing. But yeah, that one's on Kickstarter, I believe, right now. It's crazy. It's a
How
good
long?
one.
How long is that on Kickstarter for?
Um,
For whoever ends up listening to this later.
Yeah, so it's going to be on Kickstarter for another 27 days. So from now, I think the last day is like November 18th.
Okay.
Yeah, so until November 18th, people can pre-order it there or pledge for a reward, I should say, because
Okay.
it's not a pre-order on Kickstarter.
It closes at 12:27 Eastern time on the 18th.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
thank you.
Very
Wow.
precise.
We have a new team member at Lonely Hero Games.
I love it. Love it.
Ooh.
Nice. All right, let's
And
go.
that was a really fun game. It really was fun. And,
Oh, thank you. Thank
and the
you. I'm glad
art's
you
really
enjoyed it.
like creepy and cool.
Yeah,
liked it.
we love our artist. I mean, Liz Pavlovic, she's incredible. So we're so happy that she was part of this project.
All right.
So
Sweet.
Chelsea,
Let's-
do you want to lead this next one off
Ooh.
for us? I know we've been kind of taking over.
That's
We want
fine.
to give you the chance to lead it,
Oh no,
No,
it's fine.
or
Here, I'll
take
tell
the
you
first
all my
pick for
numbers.
this next number.
Okay.
No.
I have here the Hocus Pocus card game that I think it came out well, my time frame is a little bit off with COVID time, but
course.
you can find it on Amazon, you can find it at Target. It's like $20, and you're trying to each witch does something different, like how you beat them, and you can't really like share your cards, so you kind of have to like figure it out and work together, but you can't really say what you have in hand. There's certain things that you could put your cards down. So like if you have, I think banks, if you have them, your cards are on the table so your opponent can see them and you can work together. But it's one of those that it's also kind of hard to, like, you know, you got to like really think about it and process it to try to win. But it's just, you know, a deck of cards. And it kind of fits with the theme of the, you know, the movie and stuff. And that's one of my favorite Halloween movies. So, and at $20, when I bought it, I was like, if I don't like it, it's $20. It's cheaper than going to the movie theater.
Yeah.
But we did enjoy it, and it's just, for us, it's just a quick, fun card game that we can pull out, and it's Halloween themed. So we'll have the movie in the background while we play it.
Hey Chelsea,
nice.
what game was that? My internet connection.
Sorry,
stopped for
the
a second.
Hocus Pocus card game.
Oh, okay.
And then the box looks like a book almost.
Neat.
So
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Very cool.
so it's one of my picks.
Oh, nice. Well, talking about games that are kind of themed after movies, one of my next picks is actually Coded Chronicles, The Shining. I see you, Chris. Yeah.
Bad rock.
So while The Shining is a great movie because it's horror based, like I kind of lean towards the actual TV miniseries even more. But of course, the way Kubrick shot the main movie is also great. But the way the game, like you're solving the mystery yourself, you're going through connecting clues and then tying in the theme from the movie is so well done. Of course, if you want a more family-friendly Coded Chronicles, you can go for the Scooby-Doo one as well. I know Chris kind of likes the Scooby stuff.
Oh yeah, that I do. Especially Scooby-Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion by the Op. That is my number 2. If I were to probably organize this in my top, if I actually organize these things, I think that would actually be my 2 in this one. But it's a fun game. The Coded Chronicles series by the Op is just so well done. I had a chance to play test this one, so we actually have not played our official copy because we've played through all chapter 1 and chapter 2. We've played it multiple times to try to break the system and figure out things. Like we found a couple typos and we sent that to Cami at the Op when we were doing the thing, and it was a lot of fun just playing it. It's a game, and just like the Coded Chronicles, it's a game where I think once you've played it, luckily I think it's a lower price point. I think it's about a $20 to $25 price point. So once you play it, you might not have a purpose to play it again. But what's nice is you can actually take those components, put them back in the box, and you could give it to somebody else. And that's the nice thing about the Coded Chronicles thing. It's similar to your Exit style games where it's kind of a one and done, but it's a one and done that's reusable and a lot of fun. And the writing that was done for the Scooby-Doo series was so well done in this game that you felt like you were watching the Saturday morning cartoon. Respected the series very well. And of course I gotta throw in a zoinks, like it was a really good game, Scoob. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Very good game. So yeah, I had a blast playing that one. I recommend that especially for families. And if you want to get a good introduction to the Coded Chronicles, they've got Scooby-Doo, they've got The Shining. Next, they're coming out with Goonies, which I cannot
I
wait.
love that movie.
Oh, hey you guys.
I love that movie.
All right, let's break it down to number 1. So
Whoa. Slow
Wait.
down.
hold on. Jared? Jared.
We got a guest
Jared.
here that we need to
Oh.
hear his number 2.
Oh, Jared, what's your number 2?
I think for number 2, Salem 1692.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that one is pretty fun, and I have a lot of friends that like to play that. And so it's cool. We've gotten like the candles out and stuff and kind of done it around the table, and it's just sort of, I don't know. It's an interesting theme, and the way the mechanics of it work with the the witch cards in front of you and everything, and how they can switch and other people can become witches and that sort of thing. And I just like social deduction a lot. So that's a good one. I think that's a good Halloween time game to play.
Very cool. All right, Jared, number one.
Number one, let's see. I'm just gonna, for number one, you know what? I'm just gonna give a shout out to Blood on the Clock Tower, because
Mm.
you know that's a, haven't had a chance to play it more than a couple times at conventions, but it's a great time. I love all the people involved. The Pandemonium Institute was supportive of us when we came out with Bank Heist, and Ted and Harrison and the people that run Blood on the Clock Tower at the conventions are awesome, and they become good friends of ours. So that's definitely a good Halloween time game if you want to eventually make your way into a game of that somewhere.
Yeah, I think
I've never played.
Oh my goodness, we got to get you on a game. Justin and I were evil and we won.
Well, I had to kill Chris off to make sure we could win, but it worked. So I believe that was uploaded to YouTube, so you can watch it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a wild
But yeah, Chelsea, we need to talk to Carly.
Carly, 'cause she loves
she
it.
She runs games. Yep.
Maybe we can get Carly to come over here on the 20th or something.
Well, I'm on vacation, so
No, not allowed. No, you got it.
No.
No.
it's
sorry.
a 10-hour drive or 9-hour drive from where we're going to my house, and then 5 hours from my house to
Craziness.
yours.
We
So
should-
I can't make it.
We should just tell Carly to come up on the 6th then. I don't know. Yeah, we'll find a way.
Well, I believe she's actually running a game of Blood on the Clock Tower for another stream that is raising
that's
money.
right. She's doing Extra
Yeah.
Life as well. That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's right. That's really cool. Yeah, Blood on the Clock Tower. I like the fact that they saw Werewolf, and Werewolf is a great game. I love Werewolf. I love the One Night series and everything, which I'll talk about in a second. But
We'll just talk about it now.
Well, I will talk about it now. but hold on. When I finish with Blood on the Clock Tower, though,
Yeah.
it's not eliminated. You're still able to play in the game.
Yep.
That's the one thing that I do like, is you still have a chance to talk, you still have a chance to vote. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, One Night Ultimate Werewolf. If you want to play Werewolf, but you want to make it quick and not 2 hours sometimes, because there are those games. That is the game that is just a lot of fun. You got the 3 cards in the center, you got your card, you know what you are. 5 minutes pass by, everybody wakes up, accusations flail, and then the timer tells you, all right, everybody votes. 3, 2, 1, point at the person. If you're right, if the werewolf gets killed, everybody else wins. If the werewolf doesn't get killed, the werewolves win. Very simple. There's different roles, just like in the main werewolf game. There's the village idiot, always doing, of course, will actually move everybody else's cards instead of doing thumbs down. But there's the drunk, which doesn't know their role. So it's crazy. Like, they actually will look at their drunk card, and then they will just take a card from the middle and have no clue what they are for the rest of the game. So it just changes things up. It's fun, kid friendly, and it's so easy to teach because the app lets you tap on it, hold the icon, and then it will tell the person what it is. Chelsea, what's been your number one?
So I have number one, I have Night Cage. So I haven't had the opportunity to play the physical game, but I've played the digital one twice. And the first time it had just finished Kickstarter, so I did the late pledge for it immediately. As soon as I was done playing, I was like, can I still late pledge? And he was like, yes. I was like, I'm doing it right now. And then it just arrived, and then Justin stole my copy. But that's okay.
Copy?
Well,
okay.
to do an
Sorta.
unboxing,
Yeah, because I hadn't opened it yet. So
for logistical reasons, the copy we received for review was
it's in another state.
was put in the wrong car leaving Origins, and so we're getting it back to us. So I opened her Kickstarter version. So thank you, Chelsea, for that.
Oh, no problem. And it was so much fun. And it's so, again, it's in co-op, it doesn't, like, you can place it and move wherever. So it kind of takes away that quarterbacking aspect of it. So, and just the theme, it's so thematic. Like the keys look creepy. Everything is so, it just fits. And then when you did the Kickstarter, you got a soundtrack, so you could play that in the background if you wanted to. And theme wise, I just think they did everything, and even like the monsters look like creepy, and everything just fit. The art, just everything fit so well. And it's most times I've played it on digital version, it's just been so much fun. And then like they have like this tower for the tiles, and it's like a candle.
Mhm.
So that looks awesome in person. So
Well, and that tower is made to mimic your wax melting away for
Yeah.
your candle. So once it runs out, the tiles run out, your candle is out essentially for the game. And
Basically.
that's a game timer as well.
That's pretty cool. Justin, what about you? What's your number one?
Well, I'm not sure I necessarily had it at number one per se, but it is one that it's hard to ignore because it has a classic horror monster, Fury of Dracula. I know, Chris, you're not a fan because of the way you learned it, but I've had some great experiences with it. Just the cat and mouse chase of trying to catch Dracula, because it's a one versus many style game. And of course, it's classic being Dracula and the time of year, Halloween, a horror monster. But just because you're trying to kind of figure out where he's been, looking for clues. Sometimes Dracula leaves behind an accomplice or something that might try to slow you down, but then you're trying to catch up to Dracula and actually attack him and take him out before the end of the game runs out. So just the way it's set up is very interesting. I know they've done several iterations of it to update some rules and such as well, but I really enjoy it. I know, Chris, it's not your favorite, but one day we'll get you to play again and with a better experience than how you played before.
Yeah, because I hate that game just because of the
Yes.
experience. But
Yes. And I understand, like, sometimes we learn great games and have a bad experience because maybe who we play with or how we're taught. And so I've learned to give games a second chance,
Mhm.
or at least understand why I don't like a game nowadays.
yeah,
But yeah, Fury of Dracula had to make my list. It's just one of those that, even though I have an older version, I haven't even played for probably 3 or 4 years now, it stays in my collection just because of how much I enjoy it when I do get it to the table.
yeah. I will give it a chance if you're teaching it, but I will not play it otherwise. Nor will I play it with that person ever,
Fair point.
ever. I would rather eat Brussels sprouts raw than play that game again with that person.
Well, we want to end
Oof.
this on a high note, not a low note,
Yes,
Chris.
happy notes.
So-
So, folks, eat your Brussels sprouts with bacon grease. That's right.
Will there be Brussels sprouts on the trough?
No, they
No,
will
no,
not.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. I wouldn't go. Mm-mm,
No.
no.
Chelsea, read us again. What's on the trough?
Oh, I gotta pull it up again. Give me 2 seconds.
Well, while she's pulling it up, why don't we
Yeah.
all pick a game that we're looking forward to learning or getting soon to try? So what's one game you're looking forward to trying at some point, Jared?
I tell you, I've seen this one floating around, and I might butcher the name here, but I just looked it up earlier for the first time. I just keep seeing it pop up, and
Mhm.
I think it's called Super Mega Lucky Box.
Oh, Super Mega.
Just
Yeah.
got that in the mail.
What's that?
I just got it in the mail. Sorry, I got
Oh.
really excited.
Yeah. I keep calling it something else, so I thought maybe I'd mess
It's
it up,
like
but I think
It looks like a 90s
yeah.
game almost.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I heard maybe on your stream here, maybe Derek Funkhauser had mentioned it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then so I looked it up, and it looks interesting, it looks that's one I'm looking forward to playing.
Very
Okay.
cool.
Chelsea, what about you?
Oh man, my stack of games that I need to play is ridiculous. So
I've seen it.
oh my god, I need to go buy another bookcase.
Like, if you were to table a game tonight, what would you pick?
Gosh, come back to me. Let me.
Okay.
I
Fair
don't
enough.
like. I need to be prepared for these
Too
things.
much pressure. Too much
Yes.
pressure. Okay. Well, Chris,
come-
can you handle the pressure or should I go?
Oh yeah, I can handle the pressure. I mean, I'm playing Kill the Unicorns tonight with Beth. We're playing Kabuto Sumo. I'm excited about that. And then of course, we're going to be filming how to play for Titania Ascending, and I'm excited about that. We did a playthrough last night, just us as a family, not recorded, and we survived, which was
Ooh.
good. We actually won the game.
Great.
So we're gonna do the playthrough the same way with it on the easy level.
That'll be good.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a fun game. I mean, I have plenty of games to play right now.
Mhm.
We're trying to basically get a bunch done on a weekly basis, maybe 2 to 3 a week at least on
Mhm.
our Thursday night streams with Beth. So yeah, but it's been a blessing. It's been a blast.
I'm
Oh,
ready.
here it is.
Oh,
And I put the
for
menu
the
too.
butcher bar. Rotisserie game hen. Assorted house-made sausages. Chef's choice cut of meat. Wild boar ribs. Royale with cheese.
with cheese.
House smoked bacon. Korean short
Bacon,
ribs.
bacon, bacon,
House
bacon,
cut
bacon.
fries and grilled pita. This is
They can keep the pita.
the trough. Oh, pita's good. Pita's
It is good, but
Okay.
this is a meat.
Pita is
Evan,
good,
it's
but when
good.
compared to the rest,
They can just keep it to the side. Just
put
give
a
me more
little-
meat.
Just put a little, meat on top of the pita and then some fries on that.
pita's
Just
just
kinda-
Or just
filler
take the
compared
pita
to the-
out. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
filler.
Yeah. Yeah, we cannot wait. We hope to see you all at PAX U this year. We are definitely going to be doing another one of these at some point. Who knows when? Probably next
Mhm.
week. I think we
Yeah.
said next week. Yeah. So
Are
we'll
we?
talk
Yeah.
about same stuff that we're doing. And I don't know, what do we want to do for a top 5 next week?
I don't know.
We'll
yet.
talk.
We'll talk about it in chat.
Yeah.
But before we walk away, I guess I should talk about what I'll play. I'm looking forward to playing. Chelsea can talk about hers too.
What?
Yeah.
What are
Yeah,
you talking
'cause-
about?
Because we brought it up and then we're like, yeah, Chelsea's
Yeah.
gonna think about it, and then
ADD.
we,
I know.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I know.
That's why I'm here.
We got to keep you on a script.
Yeah.
we
It's
might
called
need
Dusted.
we might need a script.
Yeah, I'm not right there next to you to like poke you or jab you, but like, hey,
Like,
give her a chance.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay. Gotcha.
Chelsea, are you ready, or would you like me to go?
No, I'm ready. So we are playing this weekend. I had to go through the list of the games that we set up for this weekend. I'm probably gonna butcher the name. It's Demeter or Demeter from Sorry We Are French. It's a flip and write.
Mhm.
And I had looked it up online and it costs like 20 euros to ship. It's like a 25 euro, $30 game. So when I went on vacation this summer, I specifically looked for game stores at every town that we were in throughout Germany and France until I found it.
Mm.
And then when I get there, they're like, oh yeah, this one just came out. It's like the follow-up and it's like dinosaurs and it's called Baruna. So I was like, oh, well, we don't have a lot of space. And Chuck was like, you've been wanting this game for like 2 years. Just get it. Cause I don't know when the next time we're going to go, overseas.
Mhm.
So we're playing one of those this weekend. So I am excited about that.
Nice.
Very cool.
I guess for me, I picked up Under Falling Skies from CGE.
Ooh.
I know it's a solo only game, or is it? No, it says 1+. So I guess you can play with more than one. But I know we learned about it and we're talking about it during our interview stuff that we did with them at Origins, and the theming of it sounded really fun. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about that now that I've been able to pick it up.
Very cool. Well, folks, we want to say thank you all for listening to this crazy,
Mhm.
jumbled up ADHD inspired podcast thingamabob. Maybe that's what we'll call it. Podcast thingamabob. But
No, we're
no?
going to come
Yeah,
up. We're going to
we'll think of
brainstorm
it-
and we're
we'll
going to have
think of a
an
name,
actual
yeah.
title
And we'll probably
And we'll be
edit
more
out a little bit of the ADD if
and
we
some
have to.
structure.
Yeah.
This was definitely some structure.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you taking the time, actually watching this on Twitch and also listening to this at home. We hope that you have a great evening and just enjoy playing games. Once again, as Justin's motto specifically says, play games, spread joy. We will see you all later. Hope you have a great night, and bye.
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 What are you doing? You're using the wrong shaker. Oh, hey, Gary. Yeah. No. Shelly took the shaker with her when she left. So I've got my thermos. I'm just kind of using that, and maybe if somebody got the alcohol order right next time. What did you say? Nothing. Yeah, I've got those drinks. I got that martini right here for table 62. Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get some. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks. Luckily, you don't have to be a bartender to enjoy games like On the Rocks, Kingswood, and Kohaku, all from 25th Century Games. Highly recommend it. Link down below. Oh, and don't forget that 80 rolls of silverware before the end of your shift.
Hey, thanks for watching our video.
If you like what you saw here, go ahead and hit that little like, subscribe, the little bell thingamabobber, you know the thing, and watch some of our videos. Maybe one that's maybe up here, or maybe down there, or over there, or down there. I don't know where they are, but thank you all. Remember, when we can gather at the table, we can do the same for a good cause. Bye.
Bye.